Physical Education and Sports University to welcome the gathering.
Most respected Vice Chancellor Sir, respected Registrar, respected Director, Internal Quality Assurance Sir, respected Resource Person, my dear faculty members, a very good afternoon to all the present over here. It's indeed my pleasure to introduce the resource person of this the 6th day FDP program to the August gathering. Every day may not be good, but there is something good in every day. I repeat, every day may not be good, but there is something good in every day. This is a quote given by the resource person, not mine. So on behalf of you all, I am very happy to introduce Madam Dr. M. Javin, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Commerce, Justice Basir Ahmed, College for Women, Chennai. To say a few words about Madam. Madam did her schooling at Adarsh Vidyalaya Matriculation Higher Secondary School. Later, she has completed her BCom and MCom from the Ethraj College for Women. She has also completed MPhil in Commerce from Madurai Kamaraj University and completed her doctorate in Commerce from MOP Vaishnava College under the University of Madras. She also cleared University Grants Commission's National Eligibility Test for lectureship. She joined in the Justice Basir Ahmed Syed College for Women in the second afternoon session when she completed her PG in Commerce in the year 1993 itself. From the post of lecturer in 1993, she was promoted as head of the department in Commerce in the year 1997 and appointed as vice principal of the self-financing system in the year 2007. A post which she held until 24th April 2019. At present, she has been posted as assistant professor in the Department of Commerce under the aided stream in the same college. Dr. Javin has been member of the IQAC in the college since its inception, and she has able to handle all the 4 cycles successfully, and the college scored A++ with the CGPA of 3.58 out of 4, which is the highest score in the city colleges. So the madam deserves the clap from you for her hard work towards the IQAC and the NAC accreditation. Madam also has a rich experience of 25 years in various posts. She has also conducted many competitive examinations, which include the TNPSC examination, the examinations of Anna University, Banking Recruitment Services, Tamil Nadu Police Commission, Police Service Commission examination, Group 1 and Group 2 examination, and many examinations he has able to conduct in a successful manner. Madam has published 20 national and international papers and attended the seminars and conferences too. She has got the Best Paper Award in many national and international seminars. Her paper has been published in the national and international journal, and later she has published an article in the Scopus Index journal also. So once again I repeat the madam's motto: every day may not be good, but there is something good in every day. We hope this day will be good. As per the OBE consult, madam will enlighten us as to have OBE in our university in all the curriculum of all the departments. Now I invite madam and Brahma. Thank you.
We thank the IQAC coordinator for having invited us for this 6-day FDP program. It's only a learning experience because we did not achieve these high grades in all the 4 cycles just like that. We went through a lot of such programs. The staff the faculty had attended a lot of faculty development programs on assessment and accreditation, not just in this cycle, but throughout, right from our first cycle of accreditation. We made it a point to have knowledge sharing sessions. We in fact sent our staff to other colleges and institutions also for training, for awareness programs, so that they get to know what the total assessment process is. One first step towards getting a high grade would be, first thing is the unity of thought and unity of mind among all the staff members, the faculty of any institution. Each one of them will have to understand that even a small step, a small job that you do, a small contribution towards your SSR is a very big thing for getting your good grades. Because NAT assessment and accreditation is an initiative which cannot be done by one single person or is not possible just by the IQAC team. Though I have been a founding member, I have been there in the IQAC of our college right from the year that it began. That is in 1997 when we started off. 1999 was our first accreditation. We formed the IQAC. From that year onwards until today, we have found that the whole work of the IQAC is not done by the team alone. They have to rely and they have to be supported by each and every staff of any institution. Only then the self-study report will go. Only then you can get a good SSR, thereby getting good grades. Okay, so this is one secret that we have learned. One tip that we always share as IQAC members, we share wherever we go, wherever we get a chance to talk about our grading, we do tell this. So each one of us have to be committed towards giving our best, putting our best foot forward, even if it is a small step. Even if you are just writing one paragraph for the SSR, that also is important. So each one of us will have to do it. Now I think you've gone through all the other criteria. You've been having a lot of people coming in talking about criteria 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay. So one new thing in this cycle of accreditation has been the introduction of the outcome-based education. Earlier, we started off with the choice-based credit system, where we had to give choices, we had to give electives to the students, and we also had to give credits for every paper that is being offered. And we also, the UGC said that every student has to gain this number of credits to be qualified to get a degree. So this is what we started off. But now what has been introduced is the outcome-based education, which is the new norm. Now in 2018, we introduced the outcome-based education in our college. Let me first and foremost tell you all, the august gathering here, the learned professors here, outcome-based education is still evolving. You will not find one particular framework, or you will not find a methodology in which you could do it. Now when we go for assessment, the NAT tells us this is the assessment in which a university will be assessed, this is the process. For an autonomous college, the process is different. For a non-autonomous college, it is different. So there, we know what is it, what are the standards that we have to keep up. But as far as outcome-based education is concerned, you will not find any standardized format or any standardized procedure in which you can have an outcome-based education. So you can't simply say, this has been done in a college, so therefore we will also do it. That is not possible. You will have to think in terms of your own curriculum, your own, papers that you have, your university needs, the staff, the type of students you have. All this will have to be considered when you write your outcome-based education. Okay. Now, I am only going to give an overview of your outcome-based education. This also, let me tell you, we gathered knowledge and we really understood the concept of outcome-based education after many number of such lectures in our college, and also by deputing our staff to institutions like the Training and Learning Center at IIT, which was the founding stone for us, because they actually opened our eyes towards outcome-based education, mapping of your COPO. All this we understood only after we went to IIT. But then measurement of outcome was not possible in the manner in we were an arts and science college. Therefore, we ourselves evolved a method in which we could measure our outcomes. So, the point that I am trying to make here is that you cannot say, or you cannot, just take a OBE measurement or attainment from anywhere. You will have to create it on your own. You will have to think in terms of your institution and you will have to do it. I am only going to lead you towards how this can be done. Okay? I will begin my presentation. I would prefer it to be an interactive session. You can stop me if you want. We could clarify or we could discuss and then we could go ahead. Now remember, this is a knowledge sharing session. I am just going to give what knowledge I have. In case you feel this, any point, you feel could be transformed or could be done in a better way, I would be very happy to hear your suggestions too. Can we go on to the first slide, please? Okay. Now, before we start anything, we should know how this outcome-based education came into being. What is it, or who started this thing? Why is it becoming so important today? Okay. Now, the whole thing started right from 1956 when Bloom's was one professor who did a lot of research on how education can be standardized in terms of evaluation. What actually started under outcome-based education was the creation of a bank of questions from which question papers could be set and all students evaluated only based on those questions. This is how it started. So, in fact, the research on this went on for almost 7 to 8 years by Bloom and his colleagues at Cornell University. And it was Bloom who came up with what is today known as the Bloom's taxonomy, which is actually the Bible for outcome-based education. If you want to do OBE, the first thing you should do is you must understand Bloom's taxonomy. Only then you can do this. So this is how it started. But what happened was this was restricted only to the Western countries where all educational institutions adopted OBE at some point of time or the other. In India, it came at a very later stage. And moreover, when mobility of students was possible, that is, a student could study undergraduate in one country, move on to post-graduation in other country, because all Western countries opened up education for higher studies, and even from India, students used to go abroad. Now there they found that there was a mismatch between what students study in a country and what is expected of them in another country. So a lot of countries came together and they signed what is today called as the Washington Accord. Okay, this was done in 1989 with most of the countries signing it, but India was not a part of that signatory. What happened in that accord was that it was decided that all countries who sign this agreement will have a common way of bringing out your curriculum. So they said that we will all have curriculum, we will have our own syllabus, but the syllabus should tell what is the outcome expected and also show whether the outcomes are there. Now, how did they do it? They said that a student, if he or she does a BA course, okay, a BA degree, now at the end of the BA degree, he or she must be able to display certain qualities, which were called as attributes. Okay? So the first thing in any graduate should be that they must have knowledge about that particular subject. The second thing is they must be able to communicate. The third thing is they must be able to apply their knowledge in real life situations. So application of theoretical knowledge for solutions in real life was the third attribute. Like this, a lot of graduate attributes were given, and all higher educational institutions decided that out of these they would select attributes that are necessary and call them as outcomes. Now based on that, the curriculum will be framed, the syllabus will be framed, and they would also evaluate students on that. This is what happened in 1989, which still exists. Now, in India, you know that we started off with liberalization and we also have privatization of institutions. Now we've opened up our borders where students can move from one country to another. In fact, we also have mobility within our state. A student who studies in Madras University can continue education after the first year or second year, even at any other university, because there are matching of credits and matching of syllabus. So some commonality was brought about, but we did not sign the accord and we did not become a part of the OBE at all. But in 2014, India did sign the Washington Accord and became a member, where it decided that the higher educational institutions in India will also have outcome-based education. Okay, so here again let me tell you, it was only the National Board of Accreditation which accredits engineering and technical institutions, which became a part of the signatory. That is why when you Google and see for OBE, you will find a lot of OBE in technical and engineering institutes and very few in arts and science, and also in universities. So these people started way ahead in 2014, and a lot of all these institutes and engineering colleges have already done it. Now it has now been applicable to all universities, all colleges, all institutions throughout India. So that is why in that specifically there is a question on outcome-based education, and you must show how your syllabus is matched or how your outcomes are there. What is it your syllabus will bring about? How is the change brought about in your graduate? This is what is happening. So that is why outcome-based education has gained so much of importance today, and we cannot close our eye and say no, we will not do it. It is not possible and all. We have to strive to somehow or the other bring in that outcome within our syllabus too. Okay? Okay, now how do we do it? Now, anywhere if you see, yes, say a lab or a manufacturing industry, always there is a input. Yes, you put in something, there is a process, and then you get an output. Be it a chemistry lab, be it a physics lab, or be it your manufacturing place, the raw material is put in, a process is done, and then the finished product comes. But when it comes to OBE, the process is reversed. Yes, it is not input, process and output. It is the other way around. For us, when we write our syllabus, yes, we must begin thinking of OBE from the time we start writing a syllabus. The syllabus itself should be written in such a way that you must first think of what is the outcome. Then you must think of how you are going to teach that to your students. Then you must think of what your syllabus is going to be. Okay? For example, if one of your courses I am just taking, for example, it is about yoga. Yes? Or let's say psychology, clinical psychology. Now, what is your outcome? You want your students to know the basics of clinical psychology, to understand the concepts of clinical psychology, and use them on sports people. This should be your outcome. So you must first think of those outcomes. Then you must think, how should I do it? Should I do it only theoretically or practically? How should I teach them? What should be my teaching pedagogy? Should it be only classroom? Should it be peer learning? Should it be experiential learning? So you must next just think how you will do it. Finally, you must then sit and frame your syllabus. Okay? But all these years, what as teachers we've been doing, we have a syllabus. Based on the syllabus, we decide how we will teach it, chalk and talk, assignment, project. Okay? Then we evaluate and then say, okay, this girl or this student has got the knowledge, therefore he is passed with so and so grade. This is how. Now, in outcome, you must, from the time you start your syllabus, it should go from reverse. Okay? Output or outcome should become the basis for anything and everything. Okay? Now, in outcome-based education, there are a lot of things that we unlearn and relearn. The first thing that we unlearned was, yes, can one of you tell me, what are the courses that you have? How many courses you have in your university?
Programs are courses.
So there comes the question. Earlier, yes, all of us thought course means a degree. Yes, so any person who is doing a BSc course, BSc degree, we used to say he is doing a BSc course. Now, a course is defined as every paper that is being offered in the department. This is the first thing we all had to put that in the minds of each and every staff of our college. Okay, and we had to tell them, next time you talk about a degree, you will call it a program. A course would be one paper in one semester or in the semester and what is being offered. So first thing is a course. Now what is a course? Yes, now simply put, course is defined as any theory, practical, or theory come practical subject which is studied in a semester. Okay? Now if you talk about arts and science, I would say organic chemistry is a paper. Yes? Financial accounting is a paper. That is a course. So that is the course. Right? So this is the first thing that all of us had to get into our mind. A course is a paper. Now for every paper that is being offered, we had to frame syllabus. Yes, that's what we normally do. Now, every such course must have an outcome. So, the second thing that you should remember is what is a course outcome. Now, course outcomes are nothing but statements. Yes, statements that are based on the course that you are offering and which will describe significantly what are the attributes that can be seen in a graduate once he or she completes that course. Okay, so that's your course outcome. For example, today, this FDP, today's session, I am talking about outcome-based education. Now, my outcome, yes, if I had to write the outcome of this, I would say it is about giving a general knowledge on what is outcome-based education, what are the methods in which an outcome can be framed, and how you measure them. So this is my outcome, like this. Every staff is involved in framing of syllabus. Isn't that the head of the department? Along with the faculty, frame your syllabus. And each one of them frames it in their own specialization. So if you are specialized in one particular PhD or one particular subject, you are given charge. Now you know what is it the student will achieve if he or she studies that paper. So you should be able to say what is your course outcome. Earlier we used to write learning outcomes and course objectives. Today we write course objectives, we don't write learning outcomes, we write only course outcomes. Okay, course objective will be there. Why are you bringing that paper in your degree program? What is the value of the paper? What is it you are trying to, what are the aim or what are the goals of that paper? Yes, you will have an objective there. But your course outcome should tell you what is it you expect once it is done. Yes? So that is your second thing that you should remember. Now, as you all said, program. Program is, what is a program? A program is a degree course or degree that you are offering. Now, every program should have attributes also. Okay? Now, these graduate attributes, I would say, you don't have to look very far from writing your program outcomes. Yes? Your program outcome can be written very easily by just looking at the examples that are given in your NAC manual itself. The NAC manual gives us what are the graduate attributes. So, graduate attributes are knowledge, skill, values, attitudes, holistic development, social responsibility. So all these terms are there already in the NAC manual. From that itself you can frame your program outcomes. Now a program outcome should be the first step while outcomes only, you will write your course outcomes. In our institution, in our college, what we have done, we have framed program outcomes separately for BA, BSc and BCom, for UG separately, for PG separately, for MPhil, PhD separately. Okay? Now when we do this, for a science student, when you write an outcome for a BSc program, the outcome is completely different. What is the outcome? Analytical ability, critical thinking, research oriented. Okay? So terms like this. Yes, think of terms that would suit that particular program. So program, the attributes would be knowledge, fundamental knowledge, creative thinking, critical thinking, analyzing capabilities, research, okay, application of your fundamental concepts in real life. So these can be your graduate attributes. But if it is for an arts program, yes, suppose a student has done BA English Literature, you cannot have the same. Because there are not any fundamental concepts in arts. Arts would require creative thinking, okay, comprehension abilities, yes, communicative skills, writing skills, and such things. Now, I am giving you examples from BA, BSc of my college. So, for your university, you will have to think. You have BSc in physical education, you may have BSc in something on nutrition or something on yoga and other things. So, based on that, you must think, what is it that you want them to become? What do you think they should have or display at the end of that program? So, that's how you will write a program outcome. Now, in between these two, okay, both something that bridges your course outcome and program outcome is your program specific outcome. Okay, and let me tell you, program outcomes have to necessarily be drafted only by the IQAC team and the curriculum development cell if you have one like that. We have a curriculum development cell also, ma'am. So this curriculum, because we come under TANSHE, and TANSHE tells us so many correlators, so many alides, and what is the credits that can be given. So for every program they say how many units you must have, what should be your credit for each, okay, what should be the total credits. If a girl does an extra paper, what is the extra credit? So such thing the CDDC does for us, and they will give it to the IQAC. We only frame the program outcomes in general for the whole of it. So here, program general, the IQAC can say what are the program outcomes of this university. Program specific outcomes and course outcomes must be done only by the faculty. It cannot be done separately by the IQAC. It cannot be done by the heads of the departments alone. It has to be necessarily done by every such faculty who write your curriculum. If I frame one curriculum, I must be the one who is writing my course outcome. இல்லைன்னா அது தப்பா போகும். நான் ஒரு கரிக்குலம் எழுதுவேன், அதுக்கு அவுட்கம் வேற யாராவது எழுதுனாங்கன்னா நான் என்ன பேஸ் பண்ணி அந்த கரிக்குலம் எழுதுனேனோ அது அப்படியே வந்து அங்க அடிப்படும். அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கரிக்குலம் இருந்ததுன்னா நாட்ல முதல்ல அதான் கண்டுபிடிப்பாங்க. It does not match. How did you bring it? And when you go for attainment, இத வந்து ஒரு மெஷர்மெண்ட் அண்ட் அட்டைன்மெண்ட்ங்கிறது லாஸ்ட் ஸ்டேஜ். அந்த ஸ்டேஜ்ல வந்து எல்லாமே வந்து உங்களுக்கு மிஸ்மேட்ச் ஆயிடும். You will not be able to match at all. அதனால give it to the person who is framing the syllabus. I don't know how it works. I hope this is how it works here also. Your faculty themselves frame the syllabus. So if you are writing one syllabus for one paper or one course, you should only write the course outcome. Right? So the program specific outcomes also should be written. Now when you write program learning objectives or course objectives as we say, when you do that, yes, there also what should be written is your objective should only state what is the expectation. Your program specific outcome should say what will be the journey of what they will achieve while studying the paper. Program outcome is the end. After they finish the degree, what is expected now? Program outcome. Program specific is the while doing the course for every semester, what would be the attribute? How they progress from knowing to understanding to analysis. That progress is your program specific outcome. I hope I am clear. Yes? Okay? So course outcome is the basic thing which is very, very easy. Yes? You write a syllabus and you do it. Now when you write the syllabus, yes, when we started in 2018, when we first introduced outcome based, we did not give any guidelines, or we did not tell them that you must have so many outcomes and so many course outcomes, so many program specific outcomes. We framed program outcomes, we told them, then we told them how they must do the program specific and course outcomes, and we left it to the departments. என்னாச்சுன்னா சில பேர் வந்து 7-8 course outcome போட்டாங்க ஒரு கோர்ஸ்க்கு. A few of them wrote only 3. So one paper will have 3 outcomes, another paper will have 8 outcomes, mismatch out. So when 2021, when we revised our syllabus, what we did, we gave them proper strict guidelines that every course must have 5 outcomes. இது எப்படி ஸ்டாண்டர்டைஸ் பண்ணோம்னா, ஒரு பேப்பர் எடுத்தோம்னா, ஒரு கோர்ஸ் எடுத்தோம்னா, we have 5 units. For us, autonomous, all autonomous institutions will have 5 units. இங்கேயும் அதேதான். ஏன்னா ஜெனரலா யூஜிசில இருந்து டான்ஷன்ல இருந்து வரும்போது you have 5 units. Okay? Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Easiest is unit 1. For unit 1, what is your outcome? So that becomes course outcome 1. Unit 2, adukku whatever is the course outcome. So 5 units, 5 outcomes. So all syllabus will have only 5 outcomes. Right? And we will match our course outcome only with program outcomes, not with program specific outcome. And the matrix on the board, the matrix will be matching of CO with PO only. CO with PSO we do not match. At least in my institution we don't. But if you see other institutions, yes, there are a few who do match PSO also with CO. That is not necessary because it is only the journey in which the student is going. CO PO matching is very important. So adanal first adu standardize pannidum. So 5 units, 5 outcomes for every syllabus, for every course that is being offered. There will be no change in this throughout the institution. Nobody can say we will not write. You have to write. Because only then if the syllabus is passed in the academic council. They may pass it in board of studies, but when it comes to academic council, we see to it that all of them have written this, only then it is passed. If it is not there, we send it back to the department, ask them to write. That did not happen at all. All of them wrote 5. Right? Syllabus, you cannot play with the syllabus. It is the life and future of our students. So that is what we did. Okay? Okay. If this one was nice, it would have been better. OBE itself can be done in 3 processes or 3 steps. Okay? First step is framing of PO. Second step is framing of PSO. Third step is framing of CO. இது மட்டும் பண்ணா பத்தாது. இதுக்கு அடுத்தது you must map. Okay? How CO is related to your PO. 5 COs, 5 POs. One course may have 15. One program may have 15 courses. Each course will have 5 COs. All courses must be matched with the same 5 POs. Okay? So this has to be done again by the faculty who does it. Why we are doing this is like cross-checking to see whether what the program outcome is, are we achieving it through our course. For example, in our college, one program outcome for art student is creative thinking. enhancing creative thinking of the students. Okay. Now when there is creative thinking, now we have 6 semesters. Each semester 5 papers. Now those 5 papers, there must be somewhere some creativity. Okay. So for a paper like, let's say, history. Yes. Now in history, how do they become creative? Okay, what happens is they have a paper on history from so and so AD to so and so AD. Right? 1706 AD to 1850 AD. Now whatever happened during that period, the history students learn. Now when they write their units itself, they must know there must be some creativity. So 4th unit or 5th unit, what they will do is, they will bring in something like, giving a report on specific or Dravidian culture on the period. So this brings in creativity of students. So you can enhance or you can bring in innovation and creativity in your syllabus itself if you have such outcomes. The outcome, we won't have thought of things like that. Okay, I am from commerce stream, so let me tell you, in our papers what we have done is, we have brought about creativity by asking the student. Now we have a paper on entrepreneurial development. So we teach them everything from writing a project proposal, financing, how you can get finances, how you can market your product, why it fails, what are the schemes that are available, all this we teach. And at the end of it, we give them one small unit, we tell them, prepare a project feasibility report. So creativity comes in, application of what they have studied comes in. So your outcomes will help you to make your syllabus also better. So this is one big advantage of having an outcome-based education. So like this you will have to think, you will have to first understand what is it you want to see in your students when they graduate. The degree degree skill set how has he changed when he came in as a +2 student? What was his ability? And when he goes out after being for 3 years in the department, how does he go? What is it that has changed him? What all he has learned and how, and he should be able to, display those skills. Only then it is called a graduate, actually. Okay? For us, we have taken 3 main things as our graduate attributes. One is knowledge. So, on the discipline, the fundamental concepts he should know. That's the first graduate attribute. That how do you measure? Through your exams. Only if they have knowledge, they answer. Based on that answer, they are evaluated. So we know 80%, 90% means he is very strong in his knowledge. 60% means he is average, 40%. And if he has no knowledge, we fail him. So you are able to measure that knowledge as a graduate attribute. The second thing is we talk about values. What is the value that he has? Yes? Does he know basic civic sense? Does he have some amount of, value education instinct? Does he have a little bit of patriotism and national integration? Does he know about, what are the rights that are available to him? Those values. And third thing that we do is we talk about attitude. Does he have an urge to go further, to work? Yes? So these 3 things is what we take. Okay, leave it at that, sir. Decide on the graduate attributes. So what are attributes? I have told you. Okay? Now you can have attributes like knowledge, communication skills, critical thinking, problem solving, analytical reasoning, teamwork, scientific reasoning. The many words on the mind. When you write, use these words somewhere or the other. You will be able to frame your PO, PSO and COs. Okay? These are words that will really help you in describing what you want out of them. Now, when you do this again, remember what is the type of competency of the students that you get. Okay? Now, I am talking about communication. you talk communication skill, not all students will be able to communicate well. And 3 years we are not going to do wonders. Yes, we will only be able to help them develop communication skills. Now, if you have a set of students who are not at all good at communication, you will only improve their communication. So when you write, don't write enhanced communication, say improve communication skill. Okay, so this will help you make it more realistic, make it more measurable. Okay, so for every such thing you have to think and you will have to put it down. Okay, now you must also remember that every institution has a vision and a mission. Yes, your university also has a vision and a mission. You must keep that in mind also when you do it. Yes, you must see whether it matches with your mission and vision. I'm sure your university, one of the visions of your university will be to have more sports personalities who would play for the national colors and bring laurels. Now, if you are writing your program outcome as, they must be able to set up their own entrepreneurial venture, they must set up their own fitness centers and they must earn more. You are not fulfilling the vision of the institution. Clear? What are you doing? You are only teaching them how to get more money. But that's not the vision of the university. The vision of the university is to bring laurels to the nation, to play for national colors. So when you do it, you must keep such things in mind. Okay? So there should be no mismatch between vision and mission also. Okay? So what happened in our institution is, this job of finding out whether all course outcomes and program specific outcomes match to the vision and mission were left to the heads of the departments to check. They had to check whether there was any mismatch there. If it was there, to send it back to the faculty and get it changed. Right? So it's not like the head of the department will assign, leave it, they do whatever and you pass. No. The heads of the departments will have to check, see whether everything is fine, and then only it comes for the Board of Studies and the Academic Council. See, one thing that you must ensure is, each one of us should know what is our job role and what is it you are expected. This was clearly defined. Who will check what, who will write what, and how it will reach us. Okay, so that division of responsibilities and authority helped us in coming up with a good SSR. In fact, I was just telling ma'am, we had, see, you are only 25 or 28 is what ma'am says. Our institution, the faculty itself are 300. Yes, and so many departments. Now, getting from so many departments was a big task. Shift 1, shift 2, aided self-management. Okay, each one of them had different courses, different programs, right? So what we did, we first were doing it like heads of the departments and faculty. Then for getting data, we told the heads of departments, make your staff give specific criteria for specific stuff. So for commerce means one person will be in charge of criteria 1, another for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you don't have 7 people, club. The 6th and 7th criteria can be club. 1, 2, 3 cannot be club. 4 can be club. 5 cannot be club. So like that, depending upon the weightage, research is more. So research cannot be club. It had to be given to one person. Another person, 6th criteria is governance and leadership. 7th is institutional distinctiveness, your other things like best practices, your green audit and all those could be club, because department wise they are not doing anything. It is only college wise that is going to be done. So what we did, we broke down. We said each one of you take one criteria in the department itself. And our coordinator allotted one criteria to each of the IQAC members. So I was in charge of 6 criteria also. So from every department I had to collect 6 criteria data. So from each it will come back and I will compile the whole thing and I will do it. Like this, each one of us compiled. After that, the IQAC sat together, went through criteria who again went through, then it went to the principal, and then finally it was approved to be uploaded. So it cannot be done individually, it has to be broken down, segregated, segmented, and then the work was done. So like this, even for OBE, segment it as one teacher in charge of one course, write your course outcome, write your objectives, write everything and send it back to us. Okay? So this is how you will do it. Now this will form the basis for developing your program specific outcome. Next one. Okay, now coming to your framing of PSO. So before this I'll tell you framing of PSOs. Now whatever PO, PSO that you do, frame it in a manner that it is comprehensive, that is self-explanatory. Don't write short sentences, it should be self-explanatory. It must be measurable. It must start with active verbs and Bloom's taxonomy should be referred. Now what are active verbs and what's Bloom's taxonomy? I will just explain in the next slide. Okay? Now this is the Bloom's taxonomy. Now Bloom's taxonomy is not very complicated because people think it is very complicated. How do you do it? No. What Bloom has done is he has given 7 levels of knowledge. Simple. Okay? He published 7 levels of knowledge which we call as knowledge level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. We call it as K1, K2, K3, K4, K5, K6 and K7. This is what we do. Okay? And what is there in each level is also there. K1 is the basic level where you only have understanding, identifying, describing, recognizing, tell, explain. Now what Bloom did was, why he gave all these verbs under one for knowledge level 1 is, he said your questions should have any one of these terms. So in your question paper, if you are going to say define the law of motion, knowledge level 1. Okay, explain one particular concept, knowledge level 1. Yes, or you say identify what are the best ways in increasing your running speed. Again, identify. So this, right? Now he said it like that. Now how we are using that in our OBE is, when we write our units, yes, when we write unit 1, any course, unit 1 would be meaning, yes, meaning, definition, okay, fundamental laws of it or concepts, measurement and things like that. So unit 1 is always basic. Now when you write this, again, against it, you must also write the knowledge level. So that is knowledge level 1. When you write K1 next to your unit 1, what it indicates is the person who is going to set the paper for that course should ask only knowledge level 1 questions in that unit. He should not ask, how is it that this definition is right? When I say define law, define something, let's say I say define tax deducted at source. I expect the student only to define it, not to say why it is called tax deducted at source or how that term tax deducted at source came. How do you do it? Does it apply to individuals? Does it apply to a firm? I do not want to know. So the examiner should ask only on that level. He should not ask more than that level. This is what is meant by K1. So you have to write whether it is K1, K2, K3, K4 and so on. Now in our institution, again I am giving you our own example. When it comes to undergraduate courses, we have taken only 3 levels from Bloom's taxonomy. We want our undergraduates to have knowledge, understanding and application. The 3 தான் எடுத்துறோம். அந்த 3 வெச்சு தான் நாங்க program outcome போடுறோம். 3 levels we took: knowledge, understand and will become now the basis. Now when you do your CO also, see whether every unit has knowledge level 1, 2 or 3. Normally, any course that you take, the first two units will have knowledge. The third unit will be understanding. But the fourth and fifth unit can also be only knowledge and understanding when you start with semester 1, 2, 3. But when you come to semester 5 and 6, your papers are at a higher level. So in that level, you will use knowledge level 3 because it becomes an application oriented paper. You are no more teaching only the fundamentals or the theories or the concepts in that. You are asking them how you will apply. So a little greater level. So take that in the third level. For example, if you take first year padikra athana paper or knowledge level da irukku. Be it first semester, second semester. Second year varumbodhu there will be more of understanding. And third year it will be more of application. But it is not like there must be only one knowledge level. One course, one unit can have more than one knowledge levels also. You can have K1, you can also have K2. Okay. Post graduation, we've gone even up to 5 and 6 and 7 also. That also we have done. Okay. So for postgraduates, yes, we have gone ahead. So wherever possible, we have written what our knowledge levels are. Right? Use these knowledge levels. Use those terms when you write your course outcomes, your this one. But ensure that when you set a paper, even for internals, yes, use only these terms depending upon whether your unit is K1, K2 or K3. Right? So use this for everything. Be it writing your course outcome, PO, setting up of your paper, PSO, everything. Use these terms wherever possible. It makes our job very easy because you know what is to be done. You don't have to think. In the unit, okay. In the word, that is how we made it simple for our staff so that they did not find it so difficult when they had to write their course. Right? Next slide. Okay? See, this is how questions will, or this is how you will evaluate. When you want to know whether your staff has, or your student has a knowledge level 1, can you name, describe? This is how you can evaluate your students to know whether you have received or whether they have got the outcome that was expected. Okay? You want them to, you expect them to have certain outcomes. So have this knowledge, have these questions in mind and see if they can do it. Right? Now, I'm sorry, all the slides of mine would be based on art, science and commerce. You will have to change that according to your curriculum and your okay. I've shared this. You can use this as a basis, but it may help you only in framing certain things. It may not form the benchmark or the guideline. Right? Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, when you frame outcomes, there are certain things you must remember. We call this as the STEM sentence. Everybody who frames your course outcomes should always begin with this sentence: on completion of this program. If it is a program outcome, on completion of this program, the student will be able to. This sentence should be there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 will be able to display knowledge of fundamental concepts, understand the theories evolved in that particular concept. 3 will be able to use it in analyzing in real life situations, would be able to critically think. Okay, every time you need not write on completion. That's your STEM sentence. One line below that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all. Do this for both program outcome and program specific. All these are standards that you can fix among yourself. All of us will begin like this. So all course curriculum, all the syllabus will be uniform. Yes, and when you send it across to your NAC also, they will find that there is a very standardized and organized way of doing things in the institution, that itself will give a positive impact on the evaluators. Right? So this is how you do it. Now active or concrete verbs are nothing but the words that I showed you in all knowledge level 1 to 6. Those are the active verbs. Active verbs now, English, you don't have to think of all the verbs and all that. Whatever it is, from Bloom's taxonomy, all the words that are there, those are your active words. So use active or concrete words such as define, demonstrate. Don't use words that cannot be measured. Yes, how do you feel? How do you feel while running? That's a very inactive verb. You cannot describe. It's an emotion which changes from person to person. Right? How do you feel when you read a poem? That such things should not be done. So you must have only active verbs. Don't ask about if you are exposed to, or you say, are you familiar with such a concept? All of us are familiar, but the familiarity, the degree of familiarity is different. Okay, now I may be good at OBE, but I am not good at research. If you had called me for criteria 3, I may not be able to do it. I am familiar. I may talk about research, but totally to know about research, I think Dr. Gayatri was here. She was, because in and out she was doing the research part. So familiarity, exposure, okay, feeling, all these are inactive verbs which cannot be measured. Therefore, avoid using such terms, be it in your PO, PSO, CO, or even in your question papers. Okay, simple, your internal paper also you have to be careful. And as I told you, all syllabi of all courses must have uniform number of units. Yes, that you can decide 5, 4, theory how much, practical how much. Those components you can decide on your own. And you can standardize for every topic. Okay? Yes, next slide. Now, coming to mapping. Yes, we've done our CO, we've done our PO, we've done our PSO. All three done. But when you do this, yes, when you map it, again, benchmarks are not given by anybody. Benchmarks have to be formulated by you. And this mapping also is to be left to the freedom of mapping should be given to the staff, the faculty. You can say if it is highly correlated, that is, you find that both are they have a very good relationship between CO and PO, call them highly correlated, give 4 marks. If they are not that moderately correlated, give 3. Otherwise 2, otherwise 1. If you find they are not at all correlated, give 0. It is not, there is no hard and fast rule that all COs and POs should match. It is not possible. Because sometimes you have to have certain topics which may not match. So having a 0 in your mapping is also permitted. We have a lot of such zeros. But if in one course, yes, there are too many zeros, then what we do is, we send it back and say, no, this is wrong. Change your syllabus so that it matches with, at least 50 to 60% should match with the syllabus. Okay? So you can give, this can be done on your own. We have given only 3, 2, 1 and 0. We did not go for 4. Okay? So highly correlated we gave 3, moderately 2, yes, and slightly or low 1, and no correlation, 0. I will show you one example of our own syllabus. The next slide. Now here the next slide will tell you how you should do this mapping. Okay? Now the first thing is, all mapping should be in a matrix form. Yes, it should be in a matrix form. You must know highly correlated, moderately, slightly, no correlation. Give the benchmark. Benchmark nobody will give you, NAT will not say, NBA will not say, AICT will not say, nobody will say. You must form your own benchmark. Okay, that should be done, and then the matrix table. Now here, my first CO1 for one particular paper, I will match, I have written PSO, it has to be PO. Okay, this was done for our PSOs, but then now we have stopped, we do it only for PO1 with PO1. I will see this knowledge is there. So what is my PO? My PO is also knowledge. So 3 I will get. The second one is say on creative thinking or critical thinking. My PO is critical thinking, but my CO2 is not critical thinking. Very little of critical thinking is there. I may give 2 or I may give even 1. Right? So like this we will match, and what we do is we also find the average of all our COs. That is, if you take PO1, we will add up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. CO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 5. We will try to come to an average. There again we have benchmarks. If your average comes to 1 or less than 1, it is sent back to the department to revisit the syllabus. Okay? I'll show you an example. The next slide is about an example. This is my own paper, I think of BCom. My own BCom syllabus. I have taken one specific financial accounting paper. Okay? So this is my paper, financial accounting. This is my first CO because my first unit was on fundamentals of financial accounting, debit, credit and so on. So for that I wrote my CO1 as explain the basic accounting principles and concepts of and we had one topic on bank reconciliation. Sorry. It's a touch screen. Oh, sorry. You should do it before board of studies.
Actually, you is also given some template for the respective subject. We can utilize that also, madam.
Yes, you can utilize, sir. But whatever you do, sir, do it as a common thing for everybody. It won't match.
Here we are offering a 6 UG program. Out of 6, BSc Physiology only they are uploaded in the UGC website. Whether we can use that one or we can modify it, madam.
You can modify, sir. If UGC does not say that is your hard and fast rule.
Yes, they are mapping everything in PSO, everything they
No,
are
sir. They are USO, PSO mapping and all will be different. Your syllabus, you only should map. You can't simply cut copy paste from anywhere.
They have given template only.
Last time, sir, engineering college கொடுத்ததுனால அதை வச்சு மேப் பண்ணாங்க. மேடம் சொன்னாங்க இன்ஜினியரிங் காலேஜில் எல்லாம் பார்த்து பண்ண முடியாது, நம்மளுடைய ஓன் வச்சு நம்ம தான் வந்து. ஸோ இது எங்கேயுமே இல்லை.
இன்ஜினியரிங் காலேஜ் வந்து டெக்னிக்கல். அவங்க இது வந்து எங்களுக்கும் சூட் ஆகும்.
இங்க இவங்களுக்கு டெக்னாலஜிக்கு அது சூட் ஆகும்.
டெக்னாலஜி ரொம்ப சூட் ஆகும். ஆனா டெக்னாலஜியும் வந்து நீங்க வந்து ஸ்போர்ட்ஸோட இது இருக்கும் இல்லையா?
BPS
Then you can. If you think you're following the same syllabus for all the courses, then you can. But otherwise, you can always do it. Okay? Outcome is there in my syllabus book. CO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my course outcome. Each course outcome is based on the units that are there in my syllabus. I have 5 units. 5 units course outcome போட்டு I also written the levels, knowledge level. So when for autonomous colleges the question paper is set by outsiders. So when we send our syllabus itself, we send along with this. So the person who is setting the paper knows K2 level தான் இதுல கேட்கணும், understanding level தான் கேட்க முடியும். K1 and K2 தான் definition ஓ understanding ஓ இல்ல இதான் கேட்க முடியும். Only when they come.
Active verbs answer.
Active verbs. அது வந்து Bloom's taxonomy ஓட ஒரு இது. If they want, we will send. But arts and science, almost all of us know about knowledge level.
Initially, suppose that English மட்டும்
அனுப்பலாம். உங்க கேட்டாங்கன்னா what is this K1 K2 னா Bloom's taxonomy ஓட ஒரு காப்பி எடுத்து அத அனுப்பிச்சு விட்டு.
அந்த terms யூஸ் பண்ண சொல்லி அவங்க இன்சிஸ்ட் பண்ணலாம்.
Sir, we had a lot of such things. In fact, our controller of examination, she wrote for the first time when we had all this, she wrote to every examiner saying, please do it only according to these levels,
even
knowledge
it
level.
In every question is mentioned, ma'am. And within bracket K1 level.
That level we did not do it, sir, but we ensured it is there. Scrutiny கொடுக்கும்போதே we know அந்த மாதிரி. Okay, now this and these are my program specific outcomes. So இதுக்கும் match பண்ணி we brought in a matrix table. Next slide, sir. So பாருங்க, here it's before you change. Okay.
One minute.
Before you change, you will explain the basic accounting principles and concepts. Basic accounting. Acquire conceptual knowledge. That's my first PO. Acquire conceptual knowledge is my PSO. Inga on the basic accounting. So, concept on the chart. These two are closely related or highly related. So, I gave a mark of 3. Then I saw CO1 with PSO2. Okay. Again, basic accounting, put into practice principles of accounting. Right? Now here, I had my bank reconciliation statement, which is applying those concepts. Again, I said it is highly correlated. Right? Now when it comes here, apply the skill of computer application. Inga, there is nothing to do with computer application. 5 kum 1 kum matching. So, I had the liberty to say 0 or 1. Very low correlation. BRS can also be done, bank reconciliation can also be done in a computer. And specifically, we are not teaching them in a computer, we are only teaching them in a book. So, it is low correlated. So, I can give 1, I can also give 0. Now, if you see, like this for every CO, with every PO was matched. Okay, go to the next slide. So now you will see the matrix table. PSO 5 0 போட்டுருக்கேன். 0 போட்டுருக்கேன். ஏன்னா கம்ப்யூட்டர் நாலேஜ் இல்ல. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் யூனிட்ல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சிஓ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பிஎஸ்ஓ ஃபிஃப்த் பிஎஸ்ஓ 0. சோ இதெல்லாம் 0 0 0. இப்படி மேட்ச் பண்ணிட்டு we found the average. Okay, it should not go below 1 naga. So edume below 1 illa, adanala the syllabus was passed. Right? Romba complicated illave illenga. Outcome based is not at all complicated. Romba simple. Bloom's taxonomy vechittu neenga enna pannalum ungalku correct ah varum. மாறவே மாறாது. உங்க knowledge level முதல்ல வந்து concept should be very clear within our minds. We should know. சரி இதான் பண்ணணும்னா ரொம்ப சிம்பிள். ஓகே, சிலபஸ் எல்லாம் மாத்த தேவையில்ல, ஒன்றும் பண்ண தேவையில்ல. இருக்கிற சிலபஸே நீங்க எப்படி அதை வந்து பிரசன்ட் பண்ண போறீங்கிறது தான் அவுட்கம். ஓகே, I in fact have one for BSc also, but that also is I think BSc Physics. Next slide please. BSc Physics. Right? So this was another one which was done by another person for BSc Physics. When I go for arts and science, I use all this. So I'll appear here. So everywhere you see that there are so many knowledge levels. Say K1, K2, K2, K3, K3, K2, K2, K3, K4. So everywhere if you mention, you know your question itself should begin with the verb that is there in K2 or K3 or K4. If this is given to the students also, they also come prepared. There's no question of twisted questions, out of syllabus questions. In the unit, in the Maria Onduna Keka Porangardu Tirium. So it becomes easy even for them. Right? Okay? Okay. This is for physics. This also can become a example. Next one. This is the matrix for that particular thing. Right. After we finish all this, okay, there must be an evaluation or a measurement. Now, you measurement, we will only try to measure our program outcome attainment and course outcome attainment. Whether the outcomes that we wrote, we have attained, whether the programs that we outcomes we wrote, we have attained. Yes? And what is the level of attainment? Now, the first thing that you do in this is for program attainment, your mapping itself is one assessment and attainment measurement. Mapping correct one hurdle is over. The second one is you do it through a graduate exit survey. That is, once your student has graduated, from the time he he or she graduates, up to the next 3 years, you try to find out how far they have been able to use their knowledge, either in their work life or in their higher education or even in their real life situations. For example, commerce, we ask them, are you able to use budgetary control or budgetary subject for your home budgets if the student is a homemaker? Do you budget? Do you use those concepts? So like this, it is only a survey, and now with Google Forms it becomes even more easy. We already have WhatsApp groups. Yes, for every student, every class we have a WhatsApp group. We don't delete that group even after they have passed out. We keep it and we keep sending them the Google survey forms. So 3 years down or even 5 years down, you can know whether what you have taught them has helped, whether that outcome has been beneficial. This is for your PO. Course outcome attainment, there are two ways to do it. One is direct method, one is indirect method. Indirect method, again very easy. After every semester, once the student has completed the examination, we again make a Google form. Yes, we give them all the 5 outcomes and we ask them to give their rating of how far they feel they have got this, and we tell them, give them marks from 1 to 5. 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. So like this, we collect the data through a survey, and that data is analyzed. In a Google survey, automatically you get the the measurement and the pie chart, diagram, everything is there. The Excel sheet is there. So we collect it. So that is through indirect method. Direct method is you use the question papers and the marks to find out how they have attained. Yes, so your marks both at the end semester and internal exams will form the basis to find out whether the course outcome has been achieved. Yes, now this is a process which we created using Excel sheets, but today we have softwares. In fact, we ourselves are trying to get a software for course attainment in the direct method. And here again what we did, 30% we find out our course attainment through indirect survey, 70% is through direct. So using this for one batch of students, you can find out. Now course attainment has to be done after every semester. Those results must be stored and kept until the 6th semester. Once it is over, all 6 semesters you must again take an average and see how far the attainment is done. Now, how do you do it? Now, each of us, we know for UG courses, if a student gets 40%, it is a pass. For PG courses, 50% it is a pass. Like that, you yourself can set a benchmark as to what is the percentage that you want to say whether attainment is there. Yes, 60% is up, 30%, 40% is up. You set your benchmark. Add up both indirect and direct attainment. After every 6 semesters, find the average. If you have got that, then it means you have achieved it. Simple. Okay, we began with framing our own benchmarks, and here also we have our own benchmarks to see whether that's all is here. OBE. Yes, it's as simple as that. Everything is in our hands. It's not like, ஒரு ஃபார்மேட், இப்போ SSR ஒரு ஃபார்மேட் இருக்கு, அந்த ஃபார்மேட்ல அதுக்குள்ளதான் we can put the data. Here it is not like that. This is the concept. Within this concept, how you will do it for your course. Okay? Yes? Okay. So I have in fact completed OBE, but let me tell you, today the scene has changed. Yes? Today, we teachers have to be very, very, very careful in what we teach our students, because students should be employable. They must be able to go in for higher education. Right? Next slide. Earlier, this was the scene. Right? When I studied and all, teachers used to teach and go. Yes, the university will conduct the exam. The burden was on the student. Now it is learner-centric. Whatever we do, we have to do it with students in mind. It is not syllabus which is important. It is not exams that are important. It is the student who is important today. Earlier, syllabus was important, examinations were important. We were in fact teaching with examination point of view. Today, it cannot be exam point of view, it has to be student point of view. So, have examinations and go. No. We need to be multitasking. We need to know what is it that the industry wants, what is required for our students to become successful in life. So everything we need to think now in terms of students. And with pandemic, what has happened is we have become multitaskers. We have learned a lot of technology. Yes, we have learned a lot of new things. So our minds also are now accustomed to bringing in new ideas, bringing in creativity in our classes. Even today, I will tell you, in my college, even after pandemic, we are still, getting into online classes. We are having presentations in class. We are using smartboard. Pandemic ku munadi yarume PPT use panna maataanga. Ellarume thayangu. Adu yaar pannuva. Smartboard nobody used to touch. Today, everybody wants the smartboard classroom. There is one rush for smartboard. Everybody says, I want this class, I want that class. It is easy. When I am teaching Tally and all, you can just plug in your smartboard, show them the Tally software and teach. So when students see it, it becomes easier for them also. So we have also got accustomed. So today, this scenario is completely changed. It is no longer the student, it is the teacher. This is what we are today. Not two hands, but many hands. Please ponder over what this is. The first thing that we need is commitment. Commitment to our students, commitment to our teaching profession, commitment to our institution. We as a team, I am talking about my college, my teachers, we did not at any time think we can log in at 7:55 and leave at 12:55 or 1:45. We spent many hours in our college doing IQAC work. In fact, the last 15 days before the peer team, all of us were in the college even up to 5:36. I'm not exaggerating, and it was not that the management asked us to do it or we were forced to do it. We wanted to do it because we wanted to showcase our departments well. We did not want to be left behind. That commitment should come from each one, and that nobody can give, it has to come. And it will come when one person shows that commitment, it is contagious. எப்படின்னா ஒருத்தர் யான் பண்ணா எல்லாருமே யான் பண்ணுவோம் இல்லையா? யாராவது ஒருத்தர் யான் பண்ணி பாருங்க, யார் பாக்குறாங்களோ அடுத்தது அவங்க பண்ணுவாங்க. அதே மாதிரி தான் ஒருத்தர் அந்த கமிட்மெண்ட் காமிச்சாங்க டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்ல, ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்லி எல்லாருக்குமே அந்த கமிட்மெண்ட் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வராது. எவ்ரிபடி வில் சே, ஏன் இவர் ஏன் இப்படி பண்றாரு, why is she doing this, எதுக்காக இதெல்லாம் அனாவசிய வேலை இல்ல. அந்த கண்டினியூஸா ஒருத்தர் மட்டும் பண்ணாங்கன்னா டெஃபினெட்லி the others will also will get into the habit of it. Okay, so the first thing is commitment. Second thing is preparation. It is not enough if you are committed. You must be ready to spend your time and your energy for the institution, for your own well-being or for your own growth and advancement. You must do research, and you must also think about preparing your students for the future. The third is organization. You must be well organized. You must know what you are doing. You cannot do things haphazardly. So that's the third thing that you should have. Fourth is tolerance. Tolerance would mean patience. Yes, you must be patient enough. You must not lose your cool. You must be able to tolerate changes, yes, and adapt to those changes. Fifth is storytelling. That is knowledge sharing here. When you learn something new, or when you know something can be done differently, tell it to others. Share it with others. That way your SSR will come out beautifully. Yes, something that you think is unique. For us and all, when we wrote our best practices and all, we brainstormed. We sat together. We thought what all can be our best practices. Then we chose what we thought was unique and we wrote it. Okay? Then, like this, everything. You must be open for questions. You must be innovative. You must be creative. You must know technology. Because if you don't know technology, you are lost. Even a small child today knows technology. We cannot say we don't know. If you don't know, learn it at least from your children at home. For me, when I started, I also wasn't that good at it. But now I know I am able to innovate because I learned. I had to take the help of my children when we had the pandemic. But then later on, I had the interest. I went on to even make videos on YouTube and post it for my students. So like that, you must have that enthusiasm. You must learn technology. You must be more social. You cannot be a frog in the well. In the college, in the institution, you must know what is happening in other institutions, what others are doing, how differently they are doing. Only that, like today, you called me, I am giving my opinion. Now when I go back, I will give opinion, I will go tell my principal and others what all I learned here. Like for example, we have never recorded. Any of our meets we've never recorded. Now here you are recording on your own. So tomorrow, anytime anybody wants, you can replay this and you can get back and see what all was talked or what all was done. This was not done. So now I will go suggest. Let's also have a tripod, let's also have a small camera and let's record it. It becomes easier even to write a report. Yes? So, such things will have to be, you must keep your eyes and minds open. Okay? And finally, when I say you have to be a geek, I mean you have to think at the level of your students today. Don't think students don't know anything. When you're preparing them for an outcome-based education, remember the students that we are getting today have a much higher IQ than the students that were there 10 years ago. So keep in mind what is the knowledge that they have, then you do it. Yes, earlier when I began my service some 29 years ago, the first orientation in FDP and all, people said, go into a class thinking that none of them have any knowledge. So students, that is how we went teaching. Today it is not like that. Our students know better. If they don't know, they have sources to get to know. At a tap of a button, they have information. So we must be prepared at any point of time to know what would be their questions, what knowledge of how they will interpret a particular thing. Yes? So what we should do is we should also keep our level in that stage. We must not think they don't know. We must try to analyze how much they know and how much more we can help them in knowing. Because today teachers are not just lecturers delivering lectures. We are more facilitators. We are not here to question them. We are here to ask them or to tell them how to question, how to ask why something is happening. So when you write your syllabus itself, have all these points in mind. Because your syllabus would be the first document which would be assessed They will see what your syllabus is, how far your syllabus is good, what are your outcomes, what is it that you're trying to project. Okay, so all these things we need to change our minds. We need to be very open-minded. You have a wonderful infrastructure. I was taken around. I was really amazed by the infrastructure that you have. I'm amazed at the number of courses and the type of courses you have. You are very innovative and creative courses. Therefore, you have that plus point. You only have to know how to showcase this. Okay? Thank you so much for patiently listening. Thank you. Okay? Now this I always say, don't work hard, work intelligently. Don't think every day writing and writing and writing. No. Think what you want and do it. Enough. Don't work hard. Okay? Any questions? I'll be happy to